My name's Zachary Stroud. I was born and raised in Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland, Canada, and I'm 35 years old with a wife and daughter. I used to joke around with my wife saying that, maybe somebody out there would hear my story or something and loan me a boat so that I don't have to buy one. I actually had that conversation at least a half a dozen times, sort of joking around with her. So Kyle messaged me and said, he told me it was a 50-footer actually. When I went out and looked at it, it was actually 65 or whatever. It used to be a DFO patrol boat that they used here. It was built in 1965. It's all oak wood. It never got fiberglassed until the 90s. I went out and looked at the boat like probably 2 times with him or whatever, and he wanted to do the trade for my other boat. But after I got talking to him and I explained my story and my situation and that I was just needed it for the summer basically, and I was joking around with him about actually buying the boat back off me if we'd done the deal or whatever. And when I called him back to do the deal, he said, no, he said, I don't want your boat now. He said, I want you to just come take the boat. He said, fix it up, do what you want with it. She's yours till the summer's over, till whenever, not even till the summer's over. He said, basically, you can have her for the rest of your life, Zach. Like, go do what you want with her. And then when you're done with her, call me and I'll come bring her home and get her back. So the dream of the trip was, originally, I was going to do the Great American Loop, but that obviously was way too much for me to take on in the time frame that I had to take it on. So once I realized that, I was like, I should go around my own province, the island. It's 1,800 miles, roughly, I think it is, right around the island. Like, if you don't, now, it'd take a little more than that if you went in every bay and every arm, but just to go around, it was about 1,800 miles. So when we first got on the way, it was sort of surreal. I mean, we were already after being out for a few weekends and trips and stuff, but once we were headed out the harbor from Botwood, I think it was around 8 p.m. or something, and we only had 4 hours to our first destination. Say, I had a friend at a cabin that was there with a couple people and a couple kids or whatever. So we got there at 10:30 at night or whatever. We pulled up in this little cove or whatever with the flashlights, and he was in on the beach. I felt good about the trip right from the beginning. My favorite memory with Isabella would be, I don't know if I could just pick one, but the orcas were a pretty special moment when we were out on the back deck of the boat and a pod of 6 or 8 orcas came up and was swimming alongside of us and following along for 15 or 20 minutes. She really liked going on the small boat. She always got excited about that. So that was sort of fun and special or whatever. I used to like going for a ride in the evening and down through some of the harbors and seeing all the different color houses and sunsets and all that there kind of thing. That was awesome too. And also we got to go to quite a few, a touch tank or whatever, a couple different touch tanks where Isabella could pick up starfish and different crabs and stuff and feel the marine life or whatever. That was pretty cool as well. The whole thing was one good memory after another, really, with my daughter there, but that was some of the highlights for sure. So basically, what made me decide to go to the doctor was I was back and forth there for pains in my side, in my back, and because I was a young 31-year-old or whatever, half healthy, they sort of just shrugged me off. Oh, he's probably a fly biter, probably this or probably that. After about 2 years of that, I finally had enough or whatever, and the nurse practitioner office opened up around here, and I explained to him, I used to be able to climb poles and towers and hanging out of helicopters, and I've done it all. So now I got to lift my left leg aboard the car, so in the morning just to get in there. I just started the 2 businesses, so I wasn't really worried about, my leg was a little sore. I just threw my leg in the car and went on, hey. But then after he came and see me at the garage, and I showed him how I couldn't walk, I couldn't do this and that, he sent me for a CT scan, and as soon as they done the CT scan, they found first he said a 20 centimeter tumor. But what it was is the tumor went out of the picture at 20 centimeters. So they sent me for another CT scan, and then it came back, it was 36 centimeters. And that was in my abdomen, grew down through my hip, into my leg muscle, into my femur. There was never if they were going to take the tumor out. It was always, oh yeah, we're going to just got to shrink it a little bit first, and then we're going to take it out, whatever it is. So at the end of all the radiation and chemo or whatever, we came back to Newfoundland, and I was waiting to hear back from the surgeons to see what the next plan of attack was. And that's when I got the call in April 2024 saying basically, there was nothing else they could do for me, and I should get my affairs in order and go enjoy the time that I got left with my family, because if they had done the surgery that they would have needed to do, they would have had to paralyze me, and I wouldn't have had any quality of life left, basically. It was better off leaving the tumor in there and managing it so well as I could and enjoying the remainder of my life rather than being stuck bedridden and not being able to move. The important things in life are your family and spending time together and making memories and making sure that your family knows that you love them and being able to get out on the water there for 45 days with my family and just, you know, there was nowhere to go. We were already where we needed to be and just spend time together and go see the sights, and that was awesome. That was for sure a trip of a lifetime. So it was real important for me to track and log this trip because I wanted to have something to pass on to my daughter's only, she's 4 now, she'll be 5 in another week or 2. I really wanted her to have something when this is over that, you know, in 3 years time, she can be like, oh yeah, I remember day 3 we were here, or day 4 we were this place, and to have stuff to look back on and remember me by, basically, right? This is more about creating something that lasts for me and my daughter and my wife than it is for anything else. Like I think the SeaPeople app was really cool. Like I never heard of that at all till we left. Once we untied the boat from Botwood, and then within the first few hours, that was my first thing. I was like, I got to figure it away now that I'm going to like check in and track this trip around the island. There was 2 or 3 apps there that I looked through really briefly, but SeaPeople jumped right out. It was easy to use. And as soon as I got logged in and hit the buttons, it was like, oh, we were on our way, and that was it. Now that I've done the trip, I can't imagine not doing it. And I just wish I'd done it when I was even younger, smaller boat, whatever. Like I could have went camping a lot. Like looking back at it, it seemed like a big thing when you talk about it, but once you get at it, it's really just, you know, 1 mile after another. It's all the same. That was a big reason why I wanted to do this trip too, so that my daughter and wife can look back at it when I'm gone or whatever and be like, oh, well, we can go do this, you know, Dad done it. Or like I wasn't a sailor, or I wasn't a fisherman, or I wasn't anything to do. Like my wife is a nurse and I was a power line technician. So, but I could have never done it without her and her support either. And she definitely enjoyed it, but it was more or less her coming along for the ride, helping me reach my goal to do it or whatever. But it was real important for me for just to show Isabella, because like she's so young now, so it don't mean a lot to her right now, but when she's 10 and as she grows up, she's going to realize, oh geez, not many people went around Newfoundland on a boat like that before. And I just want her to have something to be proud of, and to know that whatever she goes at in life, it doesn't matter. If she can dream it, she can do it, you know? Like there's so much information out there now, like if you put your mind to it, there's not much you can't do as far as I'm concerned. All right, this is just a message to Isabella and Andrea, I guess, my family or whatever. I just wanted to let you know how much I love you guys and how awesome of a trip it was this summer. I would have never been able to do any of this without my wife. Like, not even, I don't think I would have went at it, because I wouldn't have had the nerve to do it without her support and stuff. Not that she has all this experience on the water, but she's a determined person, and there's nothing that can stop her or slow her down. Hey, we spent nights out with just the 3 of us, and when we left Burgeo, we left at like 8 o'clock in the evening, and we had a 16-hour steam, probably corduroy, where we were heading to the next day. And I'd say she done about 12 hours of it herself in the wheelhouse, just sitting there with the chart plotter and the radar and making sure we were on course all night and keeping watch over everything. And I was just flaked out on the couch there in the back having a little nap. I mean, I was up every hour or two checking on things as well, but no, I wouldn't have been able to do any of this without her by my side. And then it was awesome to have Isabella there too. This was a big thing. I wanted to always look back on this trip and know that she can do whatever she wants in life. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. If she dreams it, she can do it, if she puts her mind to it. Not everything is worth it all the time, or is easy all the time, but it's worth it if you put in the effort to go at it.